He told me his phone was acting weird, that's why he couldn't reply. I called his number from a friend's phone. A woman answered, "Hey babe." I said, "Wrong babe." Then I hung up and changed the locks. I'm 42. Been married to Mark for 15 years. We live just outside Nashville. Got 2 kids, ages 10 and 13. I run a bakery downtown that I built from scratch. Mark works in IT, mostly from home since the pandemic. We've had ups and downs like any couple, but I thought we were solid. That's what hurts the most. I really thought we were okay. Or at least, not like this. It started about 6 months ago. Nothing big at first. Just small things. He started going into the office more often, even though he used to hate the commute. He started staying late. Said he had new projects and tight deadlines. I believed him. Then came the phone stuff. He used to leave his phone lying around. Now, it was always in his pocket or face down. He had a passcode, which he'd always had, but now he changed it. Didn't tell me. That wasn't normal. When I asked, he said it was company policy now. Okay, I believed that too. But then he started taking calls in the garage. Or outside. Or he'd go grab something from the car and be gone 20 minutes. When I asked why he didn't respond to my texts sometimes, he said, "My phone's been acting weird. I think it's the new update." That happened at least 5 times in 2 weeks. That was the first time I felt the cold pit in my stomach. Last Friday, he said he was going to a work dinner. Nothing formal. Just a few guys from the team. Said he'd be home by 10. He didn't get home until nearly midnight. No text. No call. I messaged him at 9:30 asking if he was okay. Never got a reply. When he came in, I asked him why he didn't answer. "Sorry," he said. "Phone died. Couldn't charge it. Must be that weird battery glitch again." I nodded, but something in me broke a little. The next morning, I told my friend Lisa everything. She's blunt. She looked at me and said, "You want to know? Let's call him." My heart started racing, but I agreed. We were at my bakery in the back room. She handed me her phone. I dialed his number. After 2 rings, a woman picked up. "Hey babe," she said. Her voice was casual, sweet, familiar. Not drunk. Not joking. I froze. For maybe 2 seconds. Then I said, "Wrong babe." And I hung up. Lisa's eyes were huge. I handed the phone back and just sat there. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't do anything. Just sat. That whole day, I moved on autopilot. Made coffee. Took orders. Smiled at customers. My brain wasn't working. My body was just following the motions. I watched my own hands tying pastry boxes like I was watching someone else. When I got home that night, Mark was already there. I didn't say anything. I didn't ask. I just walked past him. He followed me into the kitchen. Asked if something was wrong. I said, "Who's the woman who answered your phone today?" He blinked. For a second, he didn't say anything. Then he said, "What are you talking about?" "I called you," I said. "From Lisa's phone. A woman picked up and called you babe." He looked pale. Like he'd seen a ghost. Then came the lie. That must have been a wrong number or something. A mix-up. I stared at him. "She picked up your number. Not a mix-up." Then the silence stretched out. He ran his hand through his hair, sat down at the table and said nothing for a long time. Then he admitted it. He said her name was Marissa. She worked at his office. It just happened. He didn't mean to. He was stressed. He felt unseen. All the usual crap. I told him to pack a bag and leave. He tried to say he still loved me. That it wasn't serious. That it was a mistake. That he was confused. I told him I wasn't. I changed the locks the next day. It's been a few days. The house is quiet without him, but also weirdly calm. The kids don't know yet. I'm still figuring out how to tell them. I've been sleeping with the TV on. Not because I'm scared, because I can't take the silence. I don't know where this is headed. I'm not ready to file for divorce. Not yet. I'm angry, yes. But I'm also just tired. Really tired. Of pretending things were fine. Of being lied to. Of keeping the house running while he was out doing whatever with whoever. Part of me wants to confront her. I won't. But I want to. I haven't told many people yet. Just Lisa. And now, all of you. I guess I'm writing this because I need someone to know what happened. I need someone to see me. I feel invisible. He told me his phone was acting weird. It was working just fine when she answered it. I'll post an update when I can think straight. Hey again, Reddit. I wasn't sure if I was going to post an update, but a lot has happened. More than I expected. And some of it I still can't believe. So, if you're still here, here's where things are now. Mark left that night without much of a fight. He took one duffel bag, got into his car, and drove off. I watched from the kitchen window. I don't know where he went. Didn't ask. Didn't care. The next morning, I dropped the kids off at school and met Lisa at the bakery. I told her everything, every word, every detail. She hugged me tight and said, "Let's get a lawyer today." That's when things started unraveling faster than I could catch them. That afternoon, he came to the bakery. It was quiet, right between the lunch and dinner rush. I was behind the counter, prepping dough. I looked up, and there he was, standing on the other side of the glass. No call. No warning. He looked awful. Unshaven. Dark circles. Eyes red. I stepped out and told him to leave. He said, "Please. Just 5 minutes." I told one of my staff to take over and walked him outside. He started crying. Now Mark doesn't cry. Not once in 15 years did I see him cry like that. He said he missed me. That he made a mistake. That he ended things with Marissa. That she meant nothing. That he wanted to come home. I stood there in my flour-covered apron, my chest tight, my hands shaking, and I said, "You ended it because you got caught." He went quiet. Then he said something that changed everything. She said she's pregnant. I blinked. My knees felt weak. I leaned against the wall. "Pregnant?" He nodded, wiping his face. "I don't know if it's mine," he said. "She says it is. I haven't even told her I'm married. She didn't know. She's furious." My heart dropped. All the air left my body. "So let me get this straight," I told him. "You've been cheating. You lied for months. You had unprotected sex. You got another woman pregnant. And she didn't even know you were married?" He didn't answer. He just kept looking at the ground like a scolded child. That wasn't a mistake. That wasn't one slip. That was a full double life. I didn't say another word. I turned around and walked back inside. Locked the front door behind me. My staff saw my face and didn't ask a thing. Lisa took my phone and shut it off for me. That night, someone egged my house. I'm not kidding. I woke up at 2 a.m. from a loud bang. Ran downstairs and saw yolk dripping down the front window. Splatters on the siding. Car windshield covered. The next morning, there was a note shoved into the mailbox. Handwritten. Sloppy. It said, "He's mine now. Stay away." No name. No return address. I called the police. Filed a report. Gave them everything I had. I wasn't going to stay quiet and afraid in my own home. My kids were sleeping just a hallway away. This crossed a whole new line. I called Mark and told him what happened. He swore it wasn't her. That she didn't know where I lived. That maybe someone else did it. That he'd talked to her. I hung up. I don't care who did it. I care that his lies are now bleeding into my real life. Into my kid's life. Lisa and I did some digging. We found Marissa on Instagram. Her profile was private, but her bio had a link to her LinkedIn. She works at Mark's company in HR. She's 29. But here's the twist. She has a fiancé. Yup. A whole other man. There's photos of them on vacation, engagement rings, the whole thing. He looks mid-30s, smiling ear to ear. No idea what's happening behind his back. This isn't just one person hurting. It's a web of lies and broken people. I debated messaging him. Still thinking about it. Because he deserves to know. Just like I did. I haven't talked to Mark since the egging. He tried to call, left a voicemail saying he needed to explain more. I deleted it. I spoke to a lawyer. We're preparing for what comes next. I haven't filed yet. Still trying to keep things stable for the kids. But I'm close. Part of me wants to burn everything down. Another part of me is just tired. Not angry. Not sad. Just empty. It's like I lost a version of my life I can never get back. I look around the house and see ghost memories everywhere. Family dinners. Movie nights. Holidays. It's all stained now. And the worst part? He still hasn't said sorry. Not really. Just, I messed up. Just, I didn't mean for it to happen. But he did. Over and over again. He chose this. And now I have to choose what happens next. I didn't expect to write another update so soon. But what happened this past week? I can't keep it to myself. If the last update felt like a gut punch, this one knocked the air clean out of my lungs. Let me just get into it. So, remember Marissa? The one Mark cheated with. The one he said was pregnant. The one who didn't even know he was married? She has a fiancé. At least she did. Last week, I made a burner Facebook account and messaged him. Just a polite, short message. Hi. You don't know me, but I think we should talk. It's about Marissa. He responded 2 hours later. We ended up talking on the phone that same night. His name's Daniel. Works in finance. Met Marissa 2 years ago. They'd been planning to get married this fall. And just like me, he thought everything was fine. When I told him about Mark and the pregnancy and the cheating, he went silent. Then he laughed. Not because it was funny. Because he couldn't believe it. He kept saying, "Are you serious?" She said she was working late every Thursday. Yep. She and Mark had their little meetups on Thursdays. Same lies. Different victim. Daniel thanked me for telling him. Said he was going to confront her. That he didn't know what would happen next, but he needed to know the truth. I didn't expect to hear from him again. But 3 days later, he messaged me again. And what he told me changed everything. Marissa isn't pregnant. She lied. She told Mark she was, just after I found out about the affair, thinking it would make him stay. She figured if I kicked him out, and she said she was pregnant, he'd come running to her. Instead, she backed herself into a corner. She kept the lie going. Mark had been panicking about a baby that didn't exist. Daniel found a text on her phone. She had sent it to a friend. It read, "I told him I'm pregnant. He won't leave his wife otherwise." That's when Daniel packed his stuff and left. He also found out this wasn't Marissa's first time doing this. There were other men before Mark. Other affairs. Other lies. She had a pattern. And now? She was spiraling. Mark showed up again. This time at the kids' school. I was there picking them up, sitting in my car. He came up to the driver's side window, looking out of breath. Like he'd run across the whole parking lot. I cracked the window. Just a little. He said, "I need to talk to you." I told him this wasn't the place. He said she lied. About everything. About the baby. About not knowing I was married. I didn't say anything. I just stared at him. Then he said something that hit different. She said you threatened her. I blinked. What? She said you left her a note. Something about staying away. She's thinking of filing harassment. Now I was done. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "You think I egged my own house?" He didn't answer. Which told me everything. That girl tried to spin the whole thing around. Make herself the victim. Now I'm the one being accused of harassing the woman who slept with my husband? He said he didn't believe her. That he was just telling me what she said. I told him to never speak to me again unless it was through a lawyer. Then I rolled the window up and drove off. The locks are still changed. The lawyer is preparing the separation paperwork. I've been sleeping better, oddly enough. But I'm also watching my back now. Marissa knows where I live. And based on her past, She's unpredictable. That's what scares me most. I got a security camera installed out front. Lisa stays over some nights just so I'm not alone with the kids. I filed a restraining order request against Marissa, just in case. Mark texted me today asking if we could talk about co-parenting. I haven't responded. Because how do you co-parent with someone who let chaos explode into your home like this? He didn't just cheat. He invited danger into our lives. A woman who lied, manipulated, pretended to carry a baby, and then tried to flip the story around. I'm still standing. But some days, just barely. I don't know where this ends yet. I don't know what I'll say to the kids when they're old enough to ask. But I know one thing. Phones don't lie. But people sure as hell do. It's been nearly 2 months since all this started. Since the phone call. Since I said wrong babe and hung up. Feels like 2 years. I didn't think it could get more dramatic. I didn't think I had any tears left in me. But I was wrong. Because this last part? This was the explosion I never saw coming. Our kids had a school music night, something small, low-key. Choir performance, potluck dinner, kids running around in dress shoes and itchy sweaters. I didn't want to go. But my daughter was singing. And I couldn't miss that. Mark asked if he could come too. I didn't answer. He showed up anyway. He stayed on the opposite side of the gym. Didn't try to sit near me. We didn't speak. But I could feel him watching the kids, watching me. I thought we'd all get through it quietly. Then she showed up. Marissa. In a short trench coat, hair done, standing near the entrance like she owned the place. I stood up from my folding chair. She spotted me and started walking over, heels clicking on the gym floor like she was on a runway. I said, loud enough for the moms at my table to hear, "You need to leave." Now. She smiled. "You don't get to tell me what to do," she said. That's when it happened. Mark walked over, fast. I thought maybe he was going to back me up. Nope. He looked between us and said, "Not here. Please. Let's talk outside." I lost it. Are you serious right now? You're still protecting her? In front of your kids? In their school gym? People turned their heads. Teachers looked over. One of the PTA moms actually gasped. Lisa, thank God, was there. She stood next to me and said, "He's still not choosing you." Even now. That was the moment. The crack that split everything open. Because right then, my son came out of the classroom. He saw the three of us, heard the raised voices, saw the crowd. He walked up to me, confused. "Mom? What's going on?" I knelt down and said, "Nothing, baby. Go sit with your sister, okay?" But it wasn't nothing. Mark looked at me, finally breaking. "I didn't want it to go this far," he said. "I tried to fix it." "You tried to lie your way out of it," I said. Then Marissa scoffed. "He doesn't love you anymore. Get over it." That's when I slapped her. Right across the face. Silence. Even I couldn't believe I did it. She touched her cheek, stunned, then turned and stormed out the door. Mark chased after her. The principal pulled me aside. Asked if I wanted to press charges or file a complaint about her showing up. I said no. I didn't want to drag the school into this. The car ride home was dead quiet. The kids could feel it. My daughter asked if everything was okay. I lied and said yes. Later that night, Mark texted me. "I'm sorry. For everything. I've messed everything up. I don't know who I am anymore." I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted the message. The next morning, I called the lawyer. Filed the papers. Officially. No more waiting. No more second chances. No more explanations. I told the kids a simpler version of the truth. Mom and Dad are going to live in different houses, but we both love you very much. My son cried. My daughter stared at me like she was trying to see through my words. Lisa moved in with me for a few weeks to help. My mom flew in from Ohio to stay with the kids while I caught my breath. I went to therapy. I started journaling every night, even if it was just one sentence. I stopped checking Mark's social media. I stopped looking at hers. I stopped looking for answers. It's strange how fast a life can change. How someone you shared a bed with, a future with, a family with can become a stranger overnight. But here's what I know now: lies have a scent. You can smell them before you hear them. Trust is fragile. Once cracked, it never holds the same shape again. Kids are stronger than we think. But they're also watching everything. I'm not the same person I was when this started. I'm not as soft. I'm not as forgiving. But I'm also not broken. Not anymore. I'm rebuilding. Slowly. One honest day at a time. Mark moved in with a friend. I hear he's figuring things out. Marissa went quiet. Maybe she's chasing someone else's husband now. Not my circus anymore. The bakery is doing well. I added a new flavor to the menu. Raspberry betrayal. It's a hit. If you're reading this and you're wondering if your partner is cheating, you probably already know the answer. Trust your gut. Phones don't act weird. But people do. And when they show you who they really are, believe them the first time. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I'm not okay yet. But I will be. Eventually.